My name's Oscar.
My name is Cole.
And this is Who Would Watch This? Welcome to Who Would Watch This, the podcast where we watch a film, we chat about the film, and then we try and figure out who would watch this.
Today we're talking about Michael, which currently has a 3.6 on Letterboxd, a 7.7 on IMDb, and a 38% on Rotten Tomatoes. Huh? That's the reason we're doing it, guys. That 38% from the critics.
We're allowed to do it then. Tick,
Yep.
tick, tick.
Done, done, done. Oscar, what's the plot?
The story of the king of pop, Michael Jackson, from his childhood of being the star of the Jackson 5 through times of abuse by his father, Joe Jackson, to his hit thriller and the purchase of Neverland Valley, into his tragic and unexpected death of June 25, 2009. Does not get into the death.
Doesn't get into the back half of the synopsis you just read, actually.
No, it's always a bit...
Nothing's about Neverland Ranch.
Nope.
Even though he keeps looking at the book.
And here's the thing. I trust IMDb pretty religiously, you know? So it's pretty fucked up that a synopsis ain't correct. But pretty much it's Michael Jackson biopic. You know the story. Come watch it for the the hijinks. Carl, we weren't gonna do this.
We weren't. This wasn't on the cards for us.
On the cards for us, you know. We were going to do Versus Month, whatever that means.
We're still going to.
Of course we are.
We're not sure what it is, but I love that we've called it that, and that's what we'll be moving ahead with.
We were going to watch Michael for my partner's birthday. Because I think we saw the trailer, and I think we were like, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Bit stupid, but fun.
Yeah.
We watched it in horror when we were in the cinemas. I think there was a group of boys next to us that also were there a bit ironically, and it sort of started, and you go...
They came in with a lot of energy too.
Yeah.
I think they were a bit of buzz.
Yeah.
You know? And they went dead silent, didn't they?
Yeah. Didn't really know what to do with it, you know? I think we were the same. Like, you know what? This might be a bit silly, but like I'm happy for a Bohemian Rhapsody-esque.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why that would be a better version of this, but this is different, you know?
Yeah, just something about this whole movie is off. And it's been, I think I've watched in horror once when the movie was unfolding, and a second time seeing everybody decide they love it. Which I think fucking threw me.
Yeah, because I think we were looking at, and again, it's opening weekend, so this might come down. Yeah. The money might stop flowing in. At the moment, it doesn't look like it's looking like it's going to be doing that.
It could be a bit, and yeah. It's
people are angry. And people are angry. Like, normally, like, a superhero one, you're like, all right, guys, chill. Don't worry about that. The Flash ain't that good, you know? But this one seems to be, like, pretty aggressively like, no, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened, and you're a monster if you think it's low. Yeah. You know?
So it's just tough, because especially when I would go out on a limb and say you couldn't even really call this a movie. So it's tough when they're like, it's the biggest movie maybe of the year, and you're like, but that's not even a film. It's just pictures.
We've stitched together 8 scenes of a guy and isn't that fun? Yeah. Isn't that the film? Isn't that what the film's all about, huh?
We're going to let you know that Michael's best friend is his driver, and we're not going to explain why.
Don't worry about
who he is to each other.
Miles Teller's a lawyer. Isn't that cool?
God, that was... I forget Miles Teller's in this. I don't think he's keen on people forgetting.
Carl, okay, so should we get into... I feel like... Roughly,
yes, which basically means we didn't do a last week's segment.
No.
We weren't anticipating reviewing it.
No.
I just didn't think it was going to be this bad.
Me neither. I thought, like, a bit cheesy, but at least some of the songs will slap, and, they'll brush over everything, Michael. But this is like a... I feel like I'm brainwashed and just like, wasn't he? He was kind of a Jesus-esque figure that did nothing wrong. Yeah. And you're a bit like, I don't know, guys.
He sort of just walks around hospitals a lot. Yeah. Like, that's a proper thing in the film, is him just being like, I love hospitals.
He doesn't heal sick children, but pretty much almost implies that I think his healing hands does. There's 4 shots of him having a moment with a sick child. And, I don't know why. I know why, I guess.
And I think Jafar Jackson's playing it as Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, when he's walking around, it feels like Anton Fuqua's been like, and right now, you are Jesus, and go.
And you've healed the blind. You healed the blind.
Boom.
Bam. Good for you.
And boom, there we go. Now go write Billie Jean.
But we did come into it, because I think we were keen, because essentially the film's production was, hey, we didn't film the ending. And we're like, huh? They're like, legally, we couldn't kind of cover, which would have been a crazy... Honestly, now seeing what the tone of this film is and seeing Michael Jackson as Jesus, I can't imagine him in a court setting.
I just feel like the movie is unfolding at such a slow, benign rate and it never really has a point of view. And so I can only imagine him sitting in the courtroom being like, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then it would just be the next scene.
Yeah.
And they're like, and now for the next problem. Like I feel like it would unfold in such a when they say the ending of the movie was the trial, I'm like, what, 4 minutes? Like, are we actually saying it was that?
I don't even know.
Crescendo?
I don't know where. Cause I think the biggest issue is you're right. Like, there's no kind of through line. Not that someone's life is a narrative.
No,
like you're making a movie.
But the best movie biopics are the ones where they form a narrative. I think. Look at, you really liked The Apprentice.
Yeah.
I think that forms a pretty good perspective.
The rise of
idea
him being corrupted, like
Yeah.
that whole thing. Social network, like it's just like we're seeing a character and how these events makes them the person they are, which is what a biopic should be.
But I think the issue is that the Jackson estate doesn't want to say what type of person he is.
No.
I think they just want to be like, Michael Jackson was alive and important, but they don't want to tell you what type of a person he was, which means you're always at arm's length away from getting invested in anything in the film.
I think the only one they're happy to be like, okay, we'll show you this, is that his father was abusive.
Yeah.
Should we get into
Because I think that's, everyone knows that.
Everyone knows it. You can't avoid it.
Yeah.
Michael's talked about it and said he's forgiven him. Tick, tick, tick.
Yeah.
So that's all you've really got as like sort of not even a through line, but just
Yeah.
sort of motivation and just what he's up against, you know? Do you want to get into the start of the film? Was there anything else you want to cover?
No, I think that's where we're at. And now we can begin.
Carl, it's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory-esque. Tim Burton's 2005 Willy Wonka, sad little house.
Yeah.
You know, beds of just 5 children sharing a bed.
I
Real
was
sad
waiting
stuff.
for a narrator.
Yeah.
I was waiting for somebody to be like, little Michael Jackson.
In the land of Gary, Indiana. 5
boy
boys,
dreams.
the youngest of them all, became the singing superstar, Michael Jackson.
And his father would hit him so.
It feels Roald Dahl-esque.
It does.
Even his dad, because it's played by Coleman Domingo,
Yeah.
who is, I guess, is the best part of the film. More just that I feel like his character is comically evil. You know, he's scheming, he's conniving, and Coleman Domingo, I guess he's got natural character. Everyone else feels like a blank slave, just like they did nothing wrong.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why he feels big, is because they've gone, the only person we've made our mind up about is the dad,
Yeah.
and we're happy for the dad to be a villain. And so this actor's able to run with it, and the movie's able to just label him a villain.
Yeah.
And I think because everybody else is doing fucking nothing in any scene, Delroy Lindo's basically been like, I'll just pick up the pieces Coleman Domingo's basically just been like, I'll just pick up the pieces then.
Yeah.
So,
and he's a great actor. So it's,
but I think he's coming across heightened and campy.
Yes.
Because he's trying to bring any sort of energy into the movie.
Well, because everyone else, unfortunately, is alive and a producer of the film. So they're just like, the Jackson 5's there watching Michael get beaten. They're like, that's wrong. And we should have stepped in, and we didn't. But that's fine. Because he also hit. And it's just sort of this like hands-off, like...
It was so unopinionated. I was like, is the dad hitting them? Do they care that he's hitting Michael?
Yeah.
Like, it was really tough for me to even gauge what was going on. I'm not even sure if the Jackson 5 wanted to go on tour. Did they? Didn't they?
No,
Were they
the
jealous of Michael?
Jackson 5 really is given nothing. They are these blank slate 4 characters that are ambivalent to Michael's success. Which
They barely have lines.
They don't have lines. What's it called? It's Marlon, Jermaine, Jackie, and Tito, you know? They have given sort of like... I can't imagine they wouldn't be angry or upset of like someone getting more power and fame. It's crazy to just go... They were fine with it. It's all good.
And they were all living in a house together.
Yeah.
So you just feel like their whole life for ages, as far as this movie's
There's
concerned.
7 of them.
Yeah.
For some reason, Janet's doesn't want to be in the film, which I thought was funny. So she's just not there.
Honestly, love it. Love it that she's just like that. This story isn't anything. Yeah. She's like, this isn't even close to what happened. What are you fucking on about? Get out of here. I think it would be great if I know they're doing that second movie of this, Michael. It'd be great if they do a little detour for Janet.
Yeah. A little spin-off. Sort of a Disney Plus show. Maybe it's like a little 5-episode
Yeah,
thing,
I could see that.
Just a little spin-off, you know?
Yeah.
Like when Vision and Scarlet Witch had a little show. WandaVision.
Yeah,
but
that
Janet
for Janet.
Vision. Janet Vision.
She was like, I was erased from the Michael film. How do I get back into it? And she makes her way by the time... Because it'd be great if the second one comes out and she's just a character.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, there were always this many in the last one.
Yeah, you know what? They probably will. Honestly, now this has made so much money, it's like, put me in the film.
Yeah.
Put me in the film.
Janet's like, get me to be a part of that. I want to have big scene.
But yeah, Coleman Domingo, again, it is like a fairy tale. Like, he's like a coal miner. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm working the mines and I want to get you boys out. He's using their like skills and their talent, running them pretty aggressively.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, I don't know, it sort of breezes over like their success and how they came up, just that they're doing
That's
great.
what I thought.
They're pretty much immediately doing well.
Yeah, and that was it's sort of the first thing that got me on a bad foot, essentially, because I was like, oh, so if we're not going to really explain what the success of this is, we're probably not going to be doing it at all in the movie.
No.
And I was like, and that's a bad omen ahead.
Real bad omen, because I think the biggest crime is that it's just hindsight of just, he wrote Thriller. So he writes Thriller and then he makes Thriller. And you're like, how?
What gave him the idea?
Yeah.
Why did he decide to do like a horror themed like song?
Yeah.
Why did he want it that way? Why did he
how
get
much?
John
How
Landis?
much? Because I feel like, again, basic knowledge of Michael Jackson. I know him and Quincy Jones work together rigorously.
Is that cute?
That's cute. That's cute. to make Thriller and that whole album, and it's odd they never show them as just like, here's me looking cool in a costume.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's them in the 60s, 70s coming up.
Yeah, and I mean that's your first. They just sort of have a montage being like, we're just brushing over all of this.
Yes.
I think it's odd when you go, because I think if you're looking at this movie for reasons to either make it shorter, save the budget, have the movie flow better, a lot of this isn't necessary. You can basically start the movie when he's thinking about firing his dad.
Yeah, totally. I think it always feels like it can cut in. Just him looking out the window, sort of being like, I'm going to fire my dad.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jackson 5 is interesting, and it's, I think the problem is they've kept that in almost to have you very, very sympathetic to Michael, because then throughout the whole film, he's very, not stunted, but he's scared of his dad.
Yeah.
Just the character. I don't mean Michael, because they're not even bothering with that. But he's sort of stunted, he's scared of his dad, and his whole sort of arc is standing up for himself.
Yeah. Which he, spoilers, never does.
No.
He never does it face to face.
No.
Even at the end when you're like, oh, this is a big moment for him. Not face to face.
No.
Still a little scaredy cat out to the crowd.
'Cause I think the film is also held back by the thing they made up, and I think Michael Jackson's on record being like, yeah, he was fine for that.
Yeah.
So it's this odd tiptoeing around any like sort of narrative, like, it doesn't feel good, you know? You're left with nothing. But anyway, they get signed by a record label, and then they're immediately in the mansion.
Yeah. It's like a hard cut into basically being like, and now this is where it is.
Yeah.
Even though we spent sort of, I don't know, what do you reckon, like 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
With this opening?
Yeah.
And again, it just doesn't feel, you go, is this movie going to like start or pose a question or do anything to sort of get you going? But even by this point, all of the music's done in montage. And I go, okay, this is, I feel like I'm already off.
Yeah.
I'm already off the film. Yeah. And you know what, the fun of the movie has a huge lack of energy. I think it's like not cut together in an interesting way.
Yeah.
The montages aren't like a fun, creative flair montage.
Yeah.
Something sort of like, I think the movie is void of style.
Yes.
Which is crazy considering you've got sort of the biggest style pop guy
The
ever.
best part of the whole film is that the Michael Jackson estate had to make a film company, and they've got him moonwalking, and then it's got like a sort of 90s Disney star coming off his shoes. And I went, wow.
Drawn.
If that's what we're doing, I'm all in for it. They don't even go for it. It also has the style, all the background stuff is so sterile.
Yeah.
It's that, I don't know if it's that Netflix, but it just, everyone in the background looks like they've just come out of just, just grab people. They look like everyone here. No one looks very 60s or 70s or 80s.
Yeah, this movie does not feel like it's a period piece of just the 60s, 70s, or the 80s.
No.
None of it feels like it could all just be happening in LA right now.
And unfortunately, the Jafar, when he's a bit older, Michael, I think they've sort of done little things to make him feel different, but I could not tell you him from 20 to 35,
It's hard to know if what they've done is they've got so much footage, they've had to omit so much of it to the point of it feeling like there's not really anything happening. Or if they have chosen to... Because, look, the movie feels like its coverage is so bland, it could be recut in just any movie could be made out of the footage that's currently here. So it's weird that the movie's going strictly linear. No cutting forward, no cutting back. Just at the beginning, he comes out on his way to go sing Bad, and then it's just the linear film until he sings that at the end.
Yeah. Because I guess they weren't sure if this was going to make money. Honestly, fairs to them. I think they went, oh, this is a bit of a mess. Let's see if people jump on board.
It's
and
the most standingly generic way to do this. They made it palatable for any person, really.
Unless you sort of engage with it a bit. And then you're sort
I
think
don't know what you'd think of this film if you didn't know who Michael Jackson was.
Well, that's what I don't think I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. I like the music, but I didn't know anything about. I felt like I knew.
Yeah,
everything
I know
that was
very
happening.
broad strokes. I think me and you probably have the exact same knowledge of him. I don't really go out and seek Michael Jackson's music, but I know he was a big figure.
Yeah,
I know that his songs were fucking huge. And it would be interesting to know everything that's sort of going on in this fucking weirdo's life.
Yeah,
this is a weird man.
Totally,
and he had animals, and he had this guy eventually becomes white. He must have a weird psyche.
Yes,
and no, it doesn't want to touch anything interesting.
Well, that's what's confusing because then you've got essentially. It's crazy. There's no what they're going to do for the sequel because I think it is getting a sequel now because you've set up this character that is very, I think, sort of hands-off responsibility.
Yeah,
sort of a bit childlike. Trying to figure everything out, but it's very innocent.
Yeah.
And it's being corrupted by just the father. Not even the industry is taking advantage of him. So when we
if anything, the industry is super kind to him.
Yeah.
He's not really facing any adversity.
No. So I think it'll be really odd to see these allegations come into the film, and it will be kind of disgusting, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how you deal with this incredibly odd man who at one point was the person that was being abused and then has so much power and fame and status that they can allegedly, abuse people. And you're like, well, that's just how the hell are you going to put this into the tone of this film,
Yeah, and knowing that it's and having seen this movie's first product, you go, well, they're not going to have a nuanced conversation about it anyway. So then it's like they're just putting it in there. It's going to be weird.
It's going to be so weird. It's going to be so weird because they'll go with, I guess, either the victims were taking advantage of them, Michael Jackson, or that the media twisted it in a weird way. But man, I don't even know how you do that because at one point, he's signing stuff because he's so famous. Yeah, it doesn't feel like he's overwhelmed. It feels like he's a small YouTuber, just hey, we all know you.
We also he does. He feels like I don't know,
not Mr. Beast.
But someone, the only one I can think of is that cancelled one. I'm if somebody ran into Cody Co,
you
pre-cancellation,
you're like, oh yeah, nice.
You're like, oh my god, Cody Co's
and
here?
Maybe someone else be like, can I get a selfie as well? But that's about it.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. It's like if you ran into any of the main leads that aren't Zooey Deschanel from New Girl.
Oh yeah,
that's probably what it is.
Maybe a Winston. If Winston was on the street,
because I'd walk by Winston.
Yeah.
But somebody would say that's Winston from New Girl.
And you'd be like, oh, cool. And then if we would maybe we'll get it. So that's exactly the fame Michael Jackson has for the whole film.
Yeah. Michael Jackson in this film is comparable to Schmidt from New Girl. You heard it here first. They've done a great job.
But yeah, we get to the mansion, and this is where Joe's, controlling behind the scenes, and the Jackson 5 just playing basketball, chilling.
They're just having a good time.
Yeah.
Now, Michael, he's a little trickster. He loves animals. He loves, and this was something that I also thought they didn't want to dive into, but we literally do see them live in this tiny house, 3 people to a room, and suddenly Michael Jackson as a kid has a giant fucking room.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what that must have felt like for him or the family, or if
everything feels so we're at the end point, and we're almost being oh yeah, I guess we were rich, we were poor and then we're rich.
Yeah,
and it's crazy not to see that. I don't know why they don't go for he's buying in excess.
Yeah,
he's going to the toy store, and it's sort of portrayed as he's just doing him, but that must be crazy to have zero and then go for literally whatever you want. He buys a monkey and a giraffe, which is kind of shown as a bit comedic, but surely that's insane.
Surely that giraffe wasn't happy.
No.
It's... where... Because are they in LA?
They're in LA.
Yeah, that giraffe shouldn't be in LA, right?
No. It's crazy the giraffe... I'm assuming it's for real. A lot of the stuff I don't know is real.
Well, I know. And I mean, we'll talk about it, but some of the stuff is not real. Because I went and looked it up, and I was like, well, why is it even in the film then if this isn't real? But I'm taking the animals at face value.
Yeah, I assume there was a giraffe, a llama, and I guess Bubbles, the famous monkey. Yeah.
Well, we know the monkey was there.
The monkey was
which
there.
Makes me go, well, then why would you make up the giraffe?
Bubbles still alive. You know that? I couldn't believe that.
Really?
Jackson's estate is just paying sort of retirement home for Bubbles, which I thought was nutty.
I'd love to know how much Bubbles got for severance. as soon as Michael died, they were like, put Bubbles in a home. This is gonna kill Bubbles. Put him in a home.
Imagine living the life of a Michael Jackson excess and then being in a shitty orangutan, in a freaking gorilla.
Don't worry, you're finally gonna go into your natural habitat. And he's like, my fucking natural habitat? I've been living in a mansion for 20 years.
I have cigars and cocaine regularly. You think I'm gonna be going off fruit?
I partied with Prince. I'm not gonna go to a fucking zoo.
Really, that's the tragedy.
That's the tragedy, is the fact that Bubbles got relegated to a horrible life post Michael Jackson's death.
Him just in that old monkey home, just being like, I used to have it all. Just
in
shut up.
Yeah.
No one calls.
Yeah.
You know,
in there with Caesar being like, I once ruled the world. And he's like, oh, sure you fucking did, Caesar. Get me out of here.
Andy Serkis is just taking notes. Like, I gotta be one of these monkeys soon. I'll bring.
You ever been down to the old monkey's home? So many stories. Just sit back and listen.
Just listen. Open your ears and open your heart. Yeah. So at this point, we've done the jump. Michael is now. I guess the big conflict is he's still in the Jackson 5, but he wants to be a solo artist.
And this is where I went, oh, okay. Now we must have just been rushing through all this stuff.
For the big thing.
For this thing that is, can anybody fire my dad? And can I go out on my own? And I was like, yes, okay. Now I'll get into this. Oof. Doesn't last long. This guy, somebody goes, hey, Michael's got to make his own album. And they're like, that's fine. As long as he keeps being a part of the Jackson 5. And between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., he's working for me, Joe Jackson.
Yeah.
Outside of that time, he can do whatever he fucking wants. And you go, oof, okay, how's he going to be able to pull off this album?
How the hell is Michael going to be able to juggle being already an established career and then also producing one of the greatest albums of all time?
And creating one of the greatest albums of all time between the hours of 5 p.m. and 12 a.m.
Yeah.
Like just 7 hours a day after a full day of work. How's he going to do it?
With ease. Pretty casually.
The next thing we know, it's a hit.
It's
a hit.
He has that. I feel like the two producers walk out of the room like, how's Michael going to do it? And then it smash cuts to beat off the wall. He did it.
He did it.
Even Michael will be like, wow, that was really easy. Huh. Thanks, Quincy. Thanks, Q.
Yeah, it was just the one thing we do love is the scene with Q. Of just the
Quincy Jones is, again, he's the producer of all the big Michael Jackson albums.
Yeah.
But Michael Jackson, for some reason, at one point, is in the studio, he's like, hey, Q, can you turn down the lights?
I just want to stay on my toes a little longer.
Unfortunately, Michael Jackson, the actor Jafar is
let's talk about Jafar.
He's nailing the performance of Michael Jackson. The problem is Michael Jackson is an alien who is an odd being.
Yeah.
So when he opened his mouth and was doing that voice, I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's
I think
so
silly. It was always going to not work because Michael Jackson's so odd.
Yeah.
And I still don't think Jafar Jackson's a talented enough actor to get it across, but he's a fucking incredible performer in the movie. The dancing's exceptional.
Unfortunately, and what the film should have just been, they could have just got away with that, is almost all the concert stuff, not really the visuals or the background or the crowd, but him dancing with the songs, terrific.
Yeah.
At that point for the film, I was like, wow, seeing Michael Jackson shot cinematically in his prime, that's fantastic. I see why he would be an amazing, crazy good performer.
Yeah.
And why some people jumped onto him and be like, wow, I've never seen someone sing a fantastic, catchy song and then move like that.
Yeah, and just move in such a weird way. And I think the shame for me is to not find out how he came up with his style of dance, which felt so, I'm going to, grab parts of my body and move so jarringly. And I'm going to just make sounds.
Yes.
I'm going to go, hee hee.
why that,
Wow,
like,
Shimon,
and no one pushes back on that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, crazy, how does he develop that? Because it sort of alludes to, like, he's like, oh, I like Fred Astaire, I like these sort of, like, Singing in the Rain. These are my influences, and that's why he can dance. But he's dancing in such, like, a robotic, cool way.
Yeah.
That it's odd. Like, it's like merging of these. I just don't know where these come from.
No, and I want to know who fanned the flame. Because there's no way he was sitting there going, everyone's against me and I'm going to go out on top of it. Surely somebody in the booth's like, hey, do that hee-hee thing again. That's really interesting to me and I think I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Let's mess with that.
Yeah.
Surely somebody is
Hey,
encouraging.
Q, you like hee-hee?
Yeah, surely
Like,
Q is fucking being like, yes, get a little bit more weird on the mic.
Yeah.
Go a little bit more odd with these things. Like, how does... And it's great, too, because Michael Jackson was somebody, at least in this movie, is like, I like movies. And so he wants to make music videos even bigger with plots and have beginnings and ends of the song in the middle. And you go, that's great. Like, but how does that come to be? You suddenly got John Landis directing Thriller, but like, how'd you get John Landis?
Yeah.
How big are you? How are you this big? Like, they're not telling us anything.
No.
It's annoying the fuck out of me.
Well, it's just them reminiscing, being like, "You guys know it." I'm like, "Guys,
I don't.
I don't. I'd love the intricacies dramatized."
Yeah. So anyway, after he's done his first big hit album with Ease, which we just find out everyone loves, no matter what, they're just like, hey, everybody loved that.
Yeah.
But you're going to go back and work for the Jacksons again. You're like, okay. And he's still living at home. And you're like, how many years is this now?
I'm not sure.
Because
we know by, like, I can look up the albums and know when they came out, but the film does not feel like it's time, moving at all.
They're not letting the time move in an interesting way. Like, they are telling you what year it is, but there's a part where they just stop telling you what year it is and then just sort of jump ahead and you go, okay, so was the main plot 5 years, I think?
And you never, and, like, I don't feel like you feel any, like, from where Michael Jackson is at the start of that album and to the end, I don't think he changes as a person.
No.
Which he surely must have.
He doesn't even feel older.
No, but to be like in the Jackson 5, part of like sort of a collective, and then be essentially the biggest superstar in the world, it's odd. He's like, I keep myself grounded. It's not, it's just odd. He doesn't change in any way. So that when the time jump happens, you're like, I don't believe it,
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It completely just sort of runs its course. It is just... It's like it just sort of feels like when a kid's like, hey, you want to see this move I just made up? And you're like, okay, kid. And the kid just sort of does it and then goes on with their day.
Kids love showing a move and then brushing it aside. They've done it. They've achieved something. And then they can get on with their day. Like, some of you guys should be,
Right? My niece loves to run up and go, I can do 10 push-ups. Does 10 horrible push-ups, frankly, bad form, none of it right.
Yeah, you show me.
And then she
Fucking
runs.
dreadful.
And then she runs away.
Yeah.
I don't even get to give her any praise.
Yeah.
Or
feedback.
critiques.
Yeah. Which she needs.
Which she needs.
Yeah. No.
But and you go, okay, well, I guess that's done. That's what this whole film feels like. That's exactly what the whole film feels like.
Now let's get into some of the sort of funkier things, because we've also got the bodyguard, Bill.
Look, Bill was a big part of the film, and he was a lovely part of the movie. Now, look, for a lot of the runtime, I kept asking who I was with. Is this Macklemore? Did you think it was Macklemore?
I did not think for
when
a second.
I raised, is that Macklemore?
We laughed at you because that's an insane thing to say.
No, I think it's because you guys thought I was saying Michael Moore, and then you thought that was preposterous, and I thought, no, but it's clearly Macklemore.
We did think it was honestly, the idea that you thought the documentarian Michael Moore was in it was really funny, and then for you to be like, no, I'm talking about the 2013 rapper Macklemore. I assume that's his year because that's only time he was
nailed it.
Yeah. No, that's insane.
It's not Macklemore.
It's not Macklemore.
I really thought it was. I mean, we were looking it up after I was pretty ready to be smug.
Could not believe
I
you.
swear in the back of my mind, I heard Macklemore was in this, which is complete.
People through the grapevine said Macklemore does appear in this.
I can only assume he's been cut for time. He would have had to have been in this, surely.
Surely, Michael Jackson and Macklemore, I feel like they're intertwined in a way.
Well, they're both M's.
Yeah, well, stop. That's too much. It's too much. Bill has an interesting role of being... With outside knowledge, he is the father figure to Michael Jackson.
Yes.
In this film, he's in the background of shots, looking over, and
like
that's
that.
it. And that's
if
it.
he would be akin in a religious movie to an angel. Like, just an angel that's hanging about
Yeah.
is a good omen. And then at the end, they're like, did you realize that was an angel? He earned his wings,
Yes.
and now he's on his way home.
Yeah, or like Santa Claus in like a sort of Christmas movie. You
Yeah,
know? You
if-
kind of
yeah.
go, "Who's that old homeless guy?" You know,
Yeah.
he's with that big bushy beard. You know, I don't think I respect him.
Yeah.
And they go, "Up."
But when he walks, bells jingle, and that's okay, I guess. Hey, where did he go? Oh my God, did you see Santa in the sky? It was like one of those moments.
Yeah,
where,
yeah.
Where the hell is Bill? Oh, God's in the sky. Like,
Which Kinney is kind of
Yeah.
is. He at the end kind of has been like, that Joseph's no good to Michael, and if I had my way, I would do something about it. And then the film climax is Michael being like, we're not doing any more tours, and Michael walks away from him, and then Joseph is like, hey, you can't say it to me, and then Bill, our big security guy, goes, hey man, just don't. And then walks away, kind of goes, nailed that interaction. Fucking can't be stopped. I'm God.
that poor actor must have been just chain smoking after he saw this movie and was like, and I was the heart. That was the heart of that film. The relationship between Michael and I, that was the heart.
That was the heart.
The beating heart. And if somebody said that was the plan, you could foresee how they thought they were going to do that, and then it just hasn't got any follow through.
No.
A lot of this movie consists of Michael having one-on-one conversations with either his mum, his dad, Bill, or Miles Teller. And they're all just life-changing conversations each time.
Yeah.
You know, nothing particularly interesting. Like, just a mum being like, I knew you were special immediately.
Yeah, you really had no, like, it was good.
You came out with tap shoes and
Yeah.
look at you go.
Look at you go. That whole relationship, again, is sort of played as, I think the film is presenting stuff, but because everything's so weird about his life, it just leeches through. You're like, it's crazy his only friend was his mum for a hot minute. And the film kind of goes, yeah, but he was chill and cool, you know? It's odd, that relationship, and the not relationship with the father. Like, it's crazy they don't go into that, but they accidentally have to just spill it, because
It's
that's
also
just what's happening.
the mum's so clearly unhappy with how things are unfolding, yet is standing by the dad. It's like, how is the way that the dad is treating her children not blowing up their relationship in a
Yes.
way that's worth telling us?
Yeah.
There's a part in the movie when she turns to Michael and is bluntly like, why don't you have friends your age? Why are your friends adults or like animals? And he's like, kids just take photos of me and ogle me. And you go, okay, well, that's interesting. Show us then.
That's the saddest sentence. There's a lot of sentences that are said that are almost meant to be like, that's just Michael's life.
Yeah.
But it's tragic.
It
you
is.
know?
It's sad. And you
Yeah.
go, show, so I can empathize with this kid. Show me what it's like for him to be in a situation where he's trying to bond with another kid his age, and they can't get over the fact that this is a famous kid.
Because in my mind, the big sort of theme of Michael Jackson's life is being completely isolated because of fame, and as a result has developed these horrible, weird interactions and way of viewing life that got him in trouble and led to a bad later life that is filled with allegations that probably stemmed from that, you know? That seems to be like, what's the life, you know? So by not presenting that, you're just like, oh God, I don't even know what... God, I'm going to be first in line for Jackson. I cannot wait. I just can't even imagine them presenting anything bad with a like, it's going to be dreadful.
Yeah.
You know?
Wouldn't it be great if they heard all the critiques and made like Sorkin does like an incredible courtroom drama, no music, just an incredible courtroom
Yeah,
drama.
they've saved the last album. Like, didn't use it. It's all in the credits. My God, we scored it. You wouldn't believe. Q came back for the score, and he was vengeful.
Q just went into it. He turned down the lights on the film too. It's barely bright. It's at 50% brightness.
So at this point, Michael's like, all right, one album, smashed it. Let's do another.
And you go, okay, sure,
Yeah.
just do another. And he's like, oh, what's my lead going to be? It is hilarious. Because we all know it's Thriller.
Yeah.
We know it's what the album's going to be called. There's just a post-it note with a question mark on it.
Well, you had predicted at the start someone was going to be like, wow, I just watched this horrible film. I think the genre was a thriller. And then Michael Jackson's like, say that again. But no, in this one, it's even more comical. It's him pretty much with like listening to all the songs. He's got a big, like sort of push board with all the songs, and then a big question mark at the front, and like red string attached. Like, it's gotta be one of these songs.
Yeah.
It's gotta be one of these songs.
And then one night he's just watching a Vincent Price film and is like, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how famous it is that people know Vincent Price is in the Thriller music video. So I think to tangibly be like, oh, he's watching the Vincent Price movie, cut to he's midway filming the Thriller music video, is a really substantial leap for people to piece together how we got to the Thriller music video.
Which this film was advertised as like the Thriller video is fantastic. My partner, midway through the Thriller scene was coming on, she went, this apparently, because the film has not been good up to this point, she's like, this is apparently the really best film, so just wait. Really bland film. I will say this, the Thriller film was my favorite part of the whole film. Michael Jackson is watching gang violence happen in LA, went, I've got to do something about this. Bloods and Crips are going absolutely crazy. So they've used like real footage of like the gang members like fighting and stuff, like news footage from that time. Michael's like, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to figure this whole thing out. He drives his limo into, I guess, a studio lot with Bloods and Crips, I guess their art department or their like dance posse. Already sort of like, we're in tableau, and then Michael's like, you know what? Give me a hat. And just sort of...
give me a red jacket, too.
Yeah, give me a red jacket, which we think would be...
Hey, show me that thing again. What's that thing you're doing with your feet?
Are these gang members, or are they just general...
We're told he's gone down to see gang members. Cut to him at the YMCA.
Yeah.
That's the feeling of like what it is.
They are presented as gang members, and these are the most like jacked men who are already ready to like at a 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
You know, it's real good.
They're like the jazziest men of the street, ready for a autograph, and he's like, "I'll sign them all later. Everybody on your toes." Like,
and they nail it. Like he's like 5, 6, 7, 8, and then suddenly they're all like, "It's amazing." But
this is choreograph wise like the best part. I think that they show his talent of being like, and I think Jafar's really good in this scene.
Yes.
Like they're moving really good. I think they're all in good synchronicity. I love everything that's happening there for sure.
Yeah,
but it's also, I think at that point they've decided to make it completely they've gone diegetic with the sound, which is the first time they've done it in the movie, which makes it all a lot of Shimon!
which is fine.
Which is fine. But it's just a bit of like a shock
Yeah.
to suddenly be like, now we're just going to sit in like the sound of shorts, feet,
Yeah.
and like heavy breathing,
Shuffling
with,
around.
like, this dancing, and you're like, okay, this is a good scene visually, and yet I
Yes.
still really feel like I'm not fully immersed in what's going
Yes.
on. Like, and I think even by this point, he's done the moonwalk
Yeah.
without any fanfare in the film. They just go, and also one stage, he just did the moonwalk, and everyone loved it. You go, show him practicing. How did he
Yeah.
come up with it?
Yeah.
When did he feel like was the right time to use it? Shoot the moonwalk like it's a moment that will give me chills. But it's just he does the moonwalk.
You guys remember that scene? You remember it.
Yeah.
Just don't worry
It's
about it.
such a nothing scene. I couldn't tell you when in the movie it happens.
Yeah.
Other than being like, that was the moonwalk.
Yeah.
That was the moonwalk scene. Like his most famous
We
dance
went back
move.
and watched like the crowd reactions to that. They are fucking going crazy
Yeah.
for it. And you just think, guys, we know it's a big moment. How did it happen?
Well, that's the other thing is the actual footage that's on YouTube of a lot of the concerts that they're covering are amazing and give you chills. And yet the dramatization with a $200 million budget can't give you the chills of the scene.
The budget's crazy because it does. Again, so much has been cut. It seems like the Jackson estate has almost like just spent money to patch up all the sort of messiness. But they've recreated Neverland, which has not appeared in the film. We should also say
the world.
The world.
They didn't mean to do it, but like you can fly there now. Like it's
They
fucking
did not know.
crazy.
They thought they were doing a pan 2,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, they were not doing a pan
And it's
2.
sort of like we open a real life vortex. You can go there, and children aren't aging. And it's weird, but we've done it for the movie, and we don't know where it's going to fit.
The lot does not have the space for it, and it's just a bit messy.
No,
you know?
that's right. It is. It's all very Pan 2-esque. They got Levi Miller back.
Hugh Jackman was like, you know what? Anything for Michael.
Anything for old Michael wants us back. If Levi's in, so am I.
Clear my schedule. I've divorced my wife. I've got spare time. Fuck it. But there is also like a running theme, which I guess they just didn't cut because they didn't. I don't know. Constantly, Michael Jackson is reading Peter Pan, just like one day. They do this like 5 times, just shots at Peter Pan. And I don't know if it's
at one stage he looks over and cries.
Yeah.
Just a slow zoom in on Neverland and then just sitting on his face crying
which
in a
I
bed.
assumed they would be tying into this, like, man, at one point he wishes he just didn't grow up. They don't do anything of that. It's just like, that's what I'll call it, Neverland. When I make my crazy $30 million mansion with a bunch of weird things happening around it, I'll be a bit ironic, you know?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny? You know, bunch of kids in there. That's comedy. That's comedy.
I would also love that it's, you know, what is the truth behind that? Is it because he liked the book or because he liked the film? You know, like, what is it? There is a Disney-ness in the movie that they can't actually indulge in because of copyright issues. You know, at one stage, Miles Teller calls the big Mickey Mouse the mouse.
Yeah.
Which is, you can just tell. But because they can't use any Disney iconography, really, it's hard to really know if he's immersed in this shitty version of Peter Pan. It's probably been drawn for the film by AI.
Yeah.
Or, you know, he was swept up in a movie as a kid. What's more likely?
Yeah. It's crazy. Should we get into Miles Teller as well as the lawyer?
Big catch.
Who I found out is now a producer on the film, which makes way more sense why he's so prominent in this film.
Yeah. He's like, I'm an important part, and I want a movie star to play me. Get me Miles.
They're in like a boardroom, and the boardroom's like, you know, we need... I don't know what he's up against, because at this point I assume he's had 2 of the biggest albums ever, and it's weird the boardroom's like, Michael, you're not gonna make it, okay? And this little thing we call showbiz, you're freaking done. And then Miles Teller's like, I'll back for him. I think this Michael Jackson's gonna be big in '85. Like, yeah.
I mean, everybody. It's hard to know what the meeting is. So it's a big music meeting for the next album, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's a bunch of lawyers being like, we can't get you out of your contract. You have to fire your dad.
Yes.
And so he cowers and is like, Miles Teller, you do it.
Yeah.
Miles Teller sends a memo, which I think is pretty funny.
It's probably the best part of the film.
Yeah, and I think, you know...
Coleman Domingo has these, like... Again, he's got these, like, contacts in. I think Joe Jackson did have slightly different eyes, but, like, Coleman Domingo's got these, like... And probably, I wish the film was more stylized because he almost looks like a bit devilish.
He does.
A bit scary.
He looks like he's getting more and more insane. Like, and I think that's the only interesting choice. But I think it's Coleman that's decided that.
He's just like, I want to wear contacts. I want to be a lot.
It's like, make my hair more frizzy, and I'm gonna just get closer to the camera.
Yeah,
you know, and that's on you to deal with.
He's taking good choices because when he reads that fax, he's got this face like, boing, boing, and then he's just angry for the film. But there's no real repercussions for that.
Yeah, you wonder if it's like, is he going to hit his kid again? Because we haven't actually shown him abuse Michael since he was a kid. So now he's just sort of a mean person.
Yeah. But
was he still abusing Michael at this time? Michael's still very scared of him.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. It feels weird. And even the mum at one point is like, you can't hit him anymore.
Yeah.
And I get, like, there's, like, but go into that.
Yeah.
Why? What's happening?
Yeah.
It seems like he's got all the power in the world, and I keep him with Joe Jonas.
Yeah.
is, like, clinging on for it.
Yeah.
At one point, he meets, and I don't know what his name is, but it's the guy from The Simpsons who is the manager for... like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
The guy with the spiky hair. Like, one round, Mo. You couldn't give me one round.
The Mo episode with Homer as the boxer. It's the only reason I know him. He's just sort of like a moneybags rich man.
Yeah. It's like,
but with
I'm a
fun
promoter.
Hair.
Yeah, with fun hair, and he promoted fights. I don't know what he was, but at one point he's like, I want Michael to be another Tor.
What was the point of this?
I think it's almost the fact, because I thought it would be another issue of like, he's like, let me lie and say that Michael is still in Jackson 5, assuming that would affect now his now solo career. But again, Michael can just sort of do both things. He can do the Pepsi commercial, he can do the Jackson 5, and he can do his solo career with no real issues.
Yeah.
He does not seem strung out or tired or anything, really. He's just doing fine.
He never felt overworked. He was always happy to do anything he was ever told at all times.
And he had a good work-life balance.
And he did it all with a smile, you know? And they're like, and this is me. Oh, did he ever fall in love or have a relationship? Or what was his relationship like to anything happening in the real world?
Yeah.
Oh, not important.
Nope.
Not important.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't even ask it.
Yeah, it's fine.
And that way, he'll always remain a guy that's there.
Guy that's there. Nothing wrong with him.
There's a part that I didn't think that they were going to do, but they do very, very briefly brush up on what he was doing surgically to his face and to his body.
This is a bit earlier in the film,
Yeah,
the
and
nose
he
job.
goes to get a nose job, which they subtly is probably because of the fact that Dad's made one offhand comment about the nose.
Yeah.
And Michael Jackson also says, "Oh, I see a lot of pictures of myself." And so you'd get pretty judgmental of your own face,
Yeah.
which I thought was a very empathetic line. Weird to not show him going through that. Like, we don't actually see many pictures of Michael Jackson in the press.
the off the wall is him with that the surgery, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, like, I don't know, just be that album being so widely available doesn't have an impact there, but it's all just like all the celebrities are doing it, so I got it done, and he's happy. He's
super happy about it.
Yeah.
But I loved the surgeon coming in being like, "Yeah, sure. You want to back out? I'm a nice one, so I'm not looking. Has anybody ever got into an office about to spend tens of thousands of dollars on surgery, and the surgeon's like, You wanna not bother? You got a pretty face.
They're upselling
You're hot
you.
as hell.
Constantly just like, wow, we're not doing the nose today, huh? Okay, weird. Surely the ears next week. Come on, buddy. The ears disgusting.
It feels-
Dumbo over here.
It feels like the surgeon's basically being like, what I like to do is I like to hit on them, see if they'll just go with the fact as to whether or not that I think they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And if they don't like that, well, then I'll just cut them open with a
Yeah,
scalpel.
100%. I look at the inner beauty and then I immediately cut out their outer beauty.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, it's easy.
It's easy to do it, and they pay me a lot of money to do
A
it.
lot of money. It's 1980s. I'm gold.
Anyway, Michael, you want to back out?
But you're right. There's a lot of things, again, thrown in, I think, because they're just like, we can't avoid it. But then by doing that, you open a can of worms like, man, what was he going through there? Because we know what happens to him. You know, is this the start of something? Not really. Don't worry about it.
We ended up watching some scenes from Michael Jackson later in life. And his face is completely different. His skin is obviously white, but he's also really sickeningly slender.
Yeah.
And I wonder how they actually would do Michael Jackson's face on Jafar Jackson for when he's so gaunt and white.
I was looking at some behind the scenes. They've got him in, I guess, deleted scenes or for the sequel. They've got him in white makeup.
Yeah.
For, I guess, when he's probably a bit more 1990s,
Yeah,
probably. Even, I feel like they said it, but I think at that last scene, he didn't seem that, like
Yeah, they didn't do too much of a contrast. I looked into it because a part in the movie, he's like, I would like to be a recluse. Like, I would like people to not know much about me, and I think that will make me more famous.
Yes.
And I loved that as an idea and them touching on it. Not that they do anything with it.
Yeah.
But then going and actually looking on the internet, a real reason it was so famous is because he wasn't around very much. He did just rock up one day and
Like
he was
that.
white
Yeah.
to do the press for like the next sort of iteration of his career.
Yeah.
And everyone was like,
What's going on here?
what? Are you going to acknowledge this? And
Yeah.
he's like, nah. Oprah is like, why are you white?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to get into it.
Not here, Oprah. Not here. Which, again, and that line is, you're right, like, so interesting. Because I think it feels like the nothing knowledge I know about Michael Jackson is that he was also like me, like, creating this brand and mystique is so important, and why I think he's so able to be so high up as like a famous person.
Yeah.
Is because he was like, no, I'm not going to do what I've assessed how I can be the most famous person in the world, and it's by doing all this. And you're right. It's like, but then you also go, he's got that line, but then he also apparently has no agency about like his life.
He's got no agency.
And you're just like, I know he's very clever and has gotten to be the most famous person in the world. He has made decisions, and it's frustrating for the film to be like, nah. Even by when he's 30, making his last big album, he still didn't stand for his dad.
No. And that's what's also weird too, is because him standing up to his dad feels like the end of like a first act. You know, like that in a regular biopic or just in a regular film.
Yeah.
It's hard to really place where that would be, but in my mind, it would probably be in the end of the first act or the end of the second act. So the fact the big ending of the movie is him standing up to his dad, I go, this just wasn't a big enough problem to overcome.
No.
Especially considering you had so much success and he was fired. And it looked like you kind of overcame him other than having to do this tour at the end.
Yeah. It seems like it was for the brothers as well.
It's just not immersive. And it's like, if this is all fact, it's like, clue me in.
Yeah.
Keep me informed so I understand why you
Like,
kept
he's
saying
fired,
yes.
but then he's also your father, so is he still just like a looming presence? We will really quickly go into, I guess, the Pepsi scene, and then I feel like he has just like...
Just a lot of time at the hospital. Look, and also during all this time, he's just hanging out with kids.
Yeah.
He just loves a kid.
He loves hanging out with kids, and again, it just feels like we all know the allegations, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but it's odd for them to be going so over, like, no, he loved seeing kids in cancer wards. He was so kind. I know technically he was, but it's an odd, vibe for the rest of the film.
And without having done the court case, which would likely have been in the film, which is when I think the court case would be like, but look, he's always had like a weird relationship with kids. And then we'd all go as the viewer, but he was just hanging out with sick kids.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's the reason that would be there. But because the allegations don't come in at the end, he's just sort of hanging around with kids.
Yeah. And people that are pretty casual watchers will go, huh?
Oh,
he's a pedophile.
Should I be reading into that now? Because you're not acknowledging it. So it makes me think you're hinting
He's a
at
kind man, and you know there's no context. He's a kind man. You're a freak for deciding that, you know? Don't worry about the last 15 years of his life. That was weird.
Don't look it up.
Don't look it up.
I think it would have been hilarious for the Jackson estate to just be like, you know, he never actually went white.
Yeah.
They just erase history.
I think they were like, how much can we push? Because this film is like, there must be just some like facts that like we can't avoid those.
Yeah.
He went white and he did went to a trial.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think we're good.
I think they're going to have a big moment when he names a kid Blanket. I think that's going to have to be a real... Hey, I'm really cold. I'm putting this blanket on. Hey, say that again.
We'll quickly get into the Pepsi one, because then the film just drags on for another 40 minutes.
Also, the Pepsi thing, again, you probably knew the Pepsi thing, right?
Yeah.
When he gets lit on fire.
Yeah.
Obviously, big part of his life.
Yeah.
And is the beginning of his eventual death.
Yeah.
Is he accidentally gets lit on fire while filming a Pepsi commercial. And it gives him third-degree burns that seem to essentially get him addicted to pain medication, which he ends up ODing on?
Yes.
Is that my correct understanding?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just sort of happens. Effects-wise, horrible. Kind of laughable, honestly.
Yeah. Him sort of like, again, and sort of presenting him as like a child, like, my hair's on fire. And then is in a hospital. The doctor's like, okay, so you're going to be bald.
Yeah.
You will always be in pain.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, you cannot do this last arena. You are too sick and you're too ill.
And you're lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
It can't be stressed that you are lucky to just be alive.
Yeah. And then the film has these long shots of him in the hospital, sort of going, man, that was tough.
I love the burn ward. Hope you donate all the money here.
I know that maybe he did donate all the money, but it feels like the film went, he donated all the money. Just so you guys know.
It felt like at any, not that I think as a movie you need to be constantly telling me about how much people are worth or how much anything's worth. But a thing I really like in The Social Network is they really keep you informed as to how rich people are getting and how the money is moving and what the actual worth of shares are and Facebook is. And at any point in time, you actually understand why there would be a threat and people fighting over this amount of wealth.
Yeah.
I'm never clued into how rich Michael Jackson is in the movie. I have no idea how much money it is.
Him being like, I'm donating $1 million. The Pepsi people paid me $1 million for burning my face.
Yeah.
I'm going to give that to the burn water. I'm like, that seems good, but I don't know what you're the biggest artist in the world.
Yeah.
When I hear biggest artist in the world, I just assume you kind of have infinite money.
Yes. Yeah.
So I don't know. Is that good? Anyway, yeah.
But it's like the whole family's living at this one place.
Yeah.
And so it's...
They're doing it tough.
Yeah. And so you're like, well, is this because this is the way... Who decided the family stays together in this home? Is that the family unit was so strong? Is the dad wanted to keep everybody under his control?
Yeah.
Was it a thing because Michael loved his family and he wanted them to be around all the time? I don't know. Tell me.
It's that.
Make a decision.
So at this point, the big... Again, you think, this is the big moment. Now, Michael Jackson cannot perform. He's just been in a horrible injury. How the hell is it going to happen? He starts performing.
He goes right back out on stage, and he is happy with it. He's fine with it. He looks great.
Yeah.
He's almost got no lasting damage to it.
Which is odd that I feel like they've made such a song and dance of just like he is going to be disfigured.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like that disfigured.
Yeah. There's no underlying I don't know if this is the way it's directed, written, or Jafar's performance, but there's no real like underlying sadness, like when he is performing or what he is going through. It's just
I'm back.
know? Like, I think a really good actor would go, I want to show a difference in how I was performing pre-injury versus post-injury.
Yeah.
And whether that's just little body movements, little facial expressions,
Being
a little moment
insecure,
of being in pain.
you know,
Yeah.
like you are so image obsessed, and for the fact that your half your head is on fire, like burnt horribly.
Yeah. Is he like, I want to wear a hat because I feel so self-conscious about my crown being so exposed.
Yeah.
Tell me, and how that... Because when he is lit on fire, it is... a clear big moment for Domino affecting the rest of his career, and yet it doesn't feel like it is in the film.
No.
So, for the listener who I keep raising my hands in frustration at Oscar, not that he made the movie, but I'm just upset about the whole thing.
Should we just get into, I guess, the last, because it is just a lot of dance sequences and so performances.
And by the way, I'm not blown away with anything. I think Bohemian Rhapsody has some really fun
that
sequences.
Live Aid sequence.
Yeah.
You know, Bohemian Rhapsody should not get much praise. But that last sequence, you kind of go, that's a good place for your end.
Look, in a cinema, I also think the Live Aid sequence is much better shot than anything in this movie to get the spectacle of the energy of that crowd and why they felt like that was a big moment for Queen.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like anything in the movie is a big concert moment for Michael.
We talk about, I think we spoke about as we walked out, there's a shot where they're just filming Thriller and Michael Jackson goes, hey, you need John Landis. You're a famous director. You need to film a big wide and get my feet in because nobody ever gets my feet in, and that's where my magic. That's where my magic is. The film then does not shoot him full body, which is the most fucking bonkers filmmaking decision of just not talking to the writing or just not being how dare you say a thing in the film like this is how you capture me, and then the film does not capture him that way.
They then in that scene show do the shot with everybody showing the feet and you go, wow, it is more effective for like 4 seconds, and then you can tell that the editors come in and be like, people will be bored of that shot mid shot, cuts out the feet and you go, stay with the feet. He just said it in the film to the director. You should know as well.
Anyway, so we get this the Jackson 5's perform at the end. It's high energy. I think just him as a performer, it's not, you're right. It's not film right. The crowd looks odd. The crowd looks like it's from now.
You can tell that they've rented a stage and shot everything, obviously. It's the fact that there's no behind shot of him dancing to the crowd.
Yeah.
I think a real, when I think about really good concert crowd sequences, I really like the ones that were in the Bradley Cooper Star is Born because he's gone to a festival and they've unplugged everything but shot it that way. And the best thing is it feels like there's a massive crowd because it's all from the POV of the stage out.
Yeah.
And
what an easy way to be like, hey, here's a POV of our person. You know what it looks like to look at someone on stage.
Yes, I know what yes, you're absolutely right. As a person that goes to the concert, you know what a concert feels like to a watcher. What does it feel like to the performer? That's your point of difference.
And just having like a bit of a head, like what is Michael Jackson seeing? Because again, we look at it on YouTube, and I was like, fuck me dead. These are massive crowd shots.
Huge crowds.
And I just think even the film makes it look smaller. I'm like, whoa, guys, it literally is the biggest sold out thing ever. Like, how does that feel? And then to be dancing, you know?
Yeah.
Because you think, fuck, he's like a god. But it doesn't feel like that at all. But yeah, you get the Jackson 5 sequence. He goes, fuck you, dad. I'm not doing. This is our last performance. And then the film goes, great.
1988.
Another one. I think because the film knew...
There's no ending.
Yeah.
And it's not if they ended the whole movie on the song Human Nature, I feel like you'd be
nothing against human nature. It ain't.
But we know there's better songs. Much better songs by Michael Jackson out there. So they are right to go and end on bad. But it is funny that they just do a random time jump it's probably the biggest time jump in the movie, I think, to just go, and now you can watch him sing something else.
They've gone from him making his second album, Thriller, to jumping further to his third biggest album.
Yeah.
You think, oh my God, surely that was a very interesting point of his life. I guess the next one will go back a little bit.
Yeah,
But,
will it? But I mean, it's tough to know. Look, I don't know if they're going to be showing Macaulay Culkin or something in the next movie. But considering what's been set up in this film, you'd think they would also be looking at doing scenes of Michael Jackson being like, "I know what it's like to be a child star, and it's really lonely. Like, I can empathize with you, kid.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to hang out? Do you want me to mentor you? What do you want here?" And I wonder if this next movie is just going to feel so disjointed because it thinks it's set up stuff in another movie. Like,
the tone as well has been set up as just like he is never
matter of fact
and not at fault, and it's just gonna be really fucking dreadful when it's a very gray area, and that's interesting. And morally, I don't know if you should put that on film, but it'll be bad. It won't be good.
Yeah,
you know. It's gonna have horrible people. It's gonna be bad discourse, and it already is bad.
It's already a bad discourse.
People are just not. People are somehow like, if you even say this film is bad, you're scum. Michael Jackson is my god. I'm like, I don't know. He's a complicated character. He's an interesting guy. You know.
Is there anything you felt like we missed that you want to bring up? Maybe like a highlight or a low light or a coy light?
I do think that hospital scene. I don't know how it's edited or the pacing. But there is a scene of him and his mum just sort of crying, and it cuts from a close-up and a big wide, and the wide just hangs for just
It's a
too
really long wide. It's maybe the longest wide in the film. Longer than the wide they use of the feet in Thriller is the wide at the hospital for whatever weird reason.
And I think like the whole cinema was kind of like...
Started laughing.
Everybody
Everybody
started
started
laughing.
stifling a laugh.
Yeah, because I think they were like, Jafar, cry now. I went, all right, give me a minute.
He's like, I'm gonna do a single tear.
He's like, I don't think he's doing a single tear. Like, we'll edit in.
We're gonna edit in a single tear, right? I'm just gonna look at the Neverland cover.
That was my biggest coy light. What do you like?
I did like the two main dance sequences in the movie, which were the Thriller scene and the choreographed scene. If I had to throw out the things that I sort of thought the movie should have done more of, if I had to just say like a low light, it's probably just how blankly shot it all is. I don't think I was ready for how empty a movie I was getting into.
Yeah.
There's like nobody in the film.
No.
It's not.
It was odd, right?
Yeah, just a lot of scenes just sort of have like 12 people in them.
Yeah. And it's like famously like he is swarmed at points. And there's like points where he's like in a CGI crowd of a bunch of car, but you're like, I don't know, I just feel like any like publicity I see is just like he is never not surrounded by billions of people. Yeah,
and I think you just don't get a real sense of his fame.
No.
You know, when I think about my dad, who's like a coastal kid from a small country
Your dad's
town.
Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah, that is. I'm Carl Cruise. You know, when I think about like how does Michael Jackson's movie make its way across the world to Australia and down the coast on the radio to somebody else, and why did they like that music and why was it popular to them? Just show me why kids in their rooms were wanting to learn to moonwalk. Like why do people get caught up in the Michael Jackson experience? I've no idea. I couldn't tell you, and I still can't.
No, we watched 2 hours of it. No,
I literally watched 2 hours and I couldn't tell you why Michael Jackson's famous.
Yeah.
Other than just already knowing he's famous.
Yeah. Carl, who would watch Michael?
This is...
I love the title, so that's my favorite thing.
We do
Michael.
love
Michael.
It's just Michael. And I get why everybody's like, the next one's probably going to be called Jackson.
Yeah.
I think
because Michael 2 is, dare I say, it'll be a 5-star film because that's an insane title.
Wouldn't it be great if for whatever reason the second one's like incredible? Like they're like Francis Ford Coppola decided to come and recut it.
Maybe they've just picked it up, you know, because maybe it will be great. Maybe it will be great.
And you know it won't.
It won't.
I reckon
they've also got they've got a pretty nice narrative for this one that was just like him coming up and now he's up the top
and now
unrelatable.
It's a downfall. Everyone wants him dead.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, he will die. His middle name's Joseph, so they can't make the second film Joseph to make it a trilogy.
Yeah.
If they do this movie from the POV of Coleman Domingo. And you're like, wow, Michael Jackson was a spoiled little rotten kid. Joe was right to hate him.
Joseph was right, you know? You should have spanked that little boy. How dare you? Who would watch Michael? And who isn't watching Michael? Quite frankly, 250 million. Again, first weekend, so it could go up.
Yeah, look, and I think it's clear that this is like a biopic success. I think this is one of the worst biopics I've ever seen, if I have to be honest.
Yeah.
Who's got to watch it? Michael Jackson fans and people that go to the cinema just a couple of times a year.
Yep.
Who's not going to watch it? I don't know. Anybody with a fucking head screwed on. That's probably a mean thing to say. Let's watch it. But
I'll stand by that. Because you be a Michael Jackson fan, but I think you should be like, it's a gray area.
Yeah. I just couldn't, I was so on board and I'm never not rooting for a movie to fail. And so it was just crazy for me to hate the movie so much and for it to be so useless and for it to...
It's useless. I think that's it. You're just sort of like, I've paid money to watch... You've sold me on, hey, here's his life.
You got me out of the house and into the cinema for a birthday. So, a birthday was curated around seeing the movie Michael.
Yes.
And so you couldn't have people in a better circumstance to enjoy your movie.
Yeah.
And it's still just dull.
And you've got the backing of Michael Jackson.
And $200 million up on screen.
Yeah.
Just...
At that point, it is... And who would watch this? I think it is just like a PR for the Michael Jackson estate. Almost.
Yeah, I mean, look, his Spotify has gone up to 20 million listeners or something over the weekend. So I'm not shocked. But look, it's got me listening to Michael Jackson over the last weekend as well.
I watched This Is It on Tubi, so they made some money somehow.
We all watched This Is It on Tubi. A sad experience.
Honestly, seeing Jafar in his prime and then seeing Michael Jackson at seconds before death, you go, fuck me dead. What is the sequel going to even do?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
And he's still moving, but it's stiff.
He's moving in like a puppet. You know, and that's not a bad thing because it's like, wow, a 50-year-old can move like that. But you could almost see him at the club, just be like, going near that man, he'll grind weirdly on you.
Yeah, I think if there's just another, he goes up and sort of points and dances and grinds around a guitar player. And I don't think the guitar player knew it was about to happen.
Nope.
But yeah, I think if you want a more comprehensive understanding of Michael Jackson, sit on YouTube for 2 hours, watch some good music
and just
videos.
When you're like, wow, this guy's pretty good, watch a documentary, and they're like, whoops, okay.
Yeah, you could delve into Finding Neverland if you want. Go for it. Educate yourself. Oscar, what are we reviewing next week?
Carl, we're back on this verse month.
We are. We hopped off pretty quick, but we're back on.
We're back on in a big way. I mean, the Michael of it all, just you can't stop.
We're swept up in Michael mania, it seems.
We're Michael, I guess we're Jackson versus the peopling right now.
Much like seeing the film and not understanding why Michael's famous. Now I've seen the movie Michael, I don't know why this movie's famous. And isn't that the duality of man?
Literally. That's the man in the mirror, some would say, you know?
You see, honestly, it'd be a 5-star film if that song was in it. But it's not. So what am I meant to do?
They had everything. They had Michael Jackson backing it. Surely it'd be like a 2-star film, but you're like... You guys just really couldn't pick it.
You can just put Man in the Mirror in. That's an easy 3 stars. It's like Bohemian Rhapsody, not putting in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah. Wish that was called Freddie. But Brian May would be like, no, we're a 4-band people. It's like, shut up. There's one guy I want to see. I don't give a shit about the bassist, okay? Fuck you.
Yeah, why isn't it called May? You guys catch the new Queen movie called May?
No, I'm a big fan of the sequel, Deacons.
What's versing movie should we do?
I don't know.
Monsters versus Aliens?
Oh, I could also do that as well.
We can't do that, can we?
It's
too
good.
Is there enough in it?
No. Seth Rogen's a blob.
Yeah, he's Bob as well. He's Bob the Blob. We'll have a think. If you've got an idea, you can email us at askwwwtpodcast@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.